Hey guys, it's Katie with Picture Perfect Lawn Maintenance. I just wanted to give a quick introduction to the video that you're about to be watching. As you all know by now, we are on track in the RVA area to be getting the wettest year on record, and that's almost 150 years of record keeping. It's been absolutely insane. We've been talking about it a lot this year because it's had such a negative impact on our business. But a couple of weeks ago, I got together with our friend Matt Martin, who runs the channel The Grass Factor, which is very popular on YouTube, and you should definitely check it out. And we pulled together several applicators across the country, literally from Texas to Maine, to talk about how on a national level we are all being impacted by this weather. There's a lot of great information and perspectives in here that I think that our clients, as well as our followers that we don't work with yet, can benefit from, just to see how fully fledged this year has really thrown off so many people across the country. If you have questions about it, be sure to comment below. We love your feedback as always, and definitely take a look at what we're hearing from not only our team, but our resources across the country. Doing all right. How's everybody else doing? I appreciate you helping me get this together, Matt. I think it's going to be something that's really beneficial to a lot of people, not just lawn care providers, but people who own lawns themselves and are just wondering what has happened this year. Pretty much across the board, I can't think of a single state on this half of the country that hasn't had some sort of record-breaking weather at different points of this year. It's been absolutely insane between heavy rainfall, high humidity, high temperatures, unseasonably hot beginnings to fall, and aeration and seeding seasons. We in our Virginia area have seen a really high rate of fungus like brown patch, and in this fall, gray leaf spot, which we normally only see every 5 years. So we've seen a lot of yards that have been decimated basically by unexpected fungus, high grub populations, issues like that, when normally we would only see maybe 10% actually develop it at all, let alone have serious problems. When we saw so many of our clients having this issue and had to have so many hard conversations about it's not really us, it's not you, it's not anything anybody's doing wrong, it's just terrible weather, that's not something that somebody who's investing hundreds or thousands of dollars a year in the maintenance of their lawn really wants to hear. And that's understandable. It's a big investment. It's your yard. You have to look at it every day. So for Mother Nature to come in and just say, nope, not this year, that sucks. So we know it's not just us. Most of our clients know that too. We just want to give them more information and have them see for themselves that it's lawn care providers across the country that are having the issue too, which is why we got this awesome group together. And so I'm going to give it back to Matt to kind of tell us who everybody is and what they're bringing to the table today.
Yeah, all right. So just real quick, I'm gonna run down the list here, and if everybody could just tell me who you are, the name of your company, and your geographical location. We'll just kind of blow through this and give everybody a who's who. Cheryl, we're gonna start with you.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Maclaurin. I'm the operations manager and agronomist on staff for Eco Lawn Care in Austin, Texas, and we service most of the North Austin and northern suburbs here in Central Texas.
Hey, it's Pete. What's up? I'm good, man. I'm Pete, GCI Turf, over here in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I do yard stuff.
Yeah, so Patrick Valancourt, owner operator, Northern Turf Management, and I'm way up north, northern Maine. Cover pretty much the whole state in a roundabout way, but mostly northern and eastern Maine, if you will.
Oh, geez. Hey, how you guys doing? John Pajak, Turf Tamer Lawn Care. I'm in Cherville, Indiana, which is Great Lakes region, right by Chicago. So we're right there in the Great Lakes area.
What's up, folks? Tyler Ward here, Outdoor Concepts Turf Management. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm about 4 hours from Matt and 2 hours from Pete. So a lot of what we talk about tonight is probably going to be pretty much the same weather-wise.
So we had a really weirdly compressed season here in Texas. We had a late start to our pre-emergence, and then it was wet in the spring, and then we had almost no real precipitation July and June and most of August, and then we had the wettest September and October. I mean, aside from Harvey, it was just horrible rain. I mean, I think my guys had a total of 4 days on one paycheck. Nobody could get any work done. The grass got 2 feet tall. So we weren't able to get really good weed control when it was 105 every day for almost 6 weeks, because just about anything you put out that's going to hit the weeds is going to hit the grass. The grass slowed way down. And then as soon as we got a little bit of rain, we got a great flush of growth. And then 2 weeks later, fungus, and everything looked terrible.
So Virginia's kind of had actually a similar experience to what Cheryl was describing in terms of spring hit hard with crazy unexpected rains that didn't stop. Between May and June, both of those individually were the wettest months on record for almost 150 years of record keeping. I think between the two of them, we had about 24 inches of rain, and we had probably a normal 20 days of rainfall, which is about average, but each of those days was an inch or more pretty much, which is just literally when it rained, it poured at that point. And so every single yard got oversaturated. We saw a huge boom of brown patch. We normally maybe see 10 to 20% of lawns develop some sort of fungus each season. And this year we saw at least 80% develop very significant and debilitating brown patch. We saw a heavy growth of dollar spot and just kind of an assortment of every kind of issue, from rot down at the base to just oversaturation in general. Then this season, once we kind of got into the late summer, July, August, it tempered out a little bit, and the fescue that we, because we primarily do a fescue, the fescue that we were treating with fungicide, it started to improve because we'd gotten multiple applications down. So when we got to aeration seed time, we wrongly thought we were going to have a little bit of a break, and then all of a sudden it was the third hottest September on record. We got hurricanes coming through pretty much every 2 or 3 weeks, so there was never really a good seeding period where we could put it down without resistance being flooded away. And then we ended up getting late season fungus, more brown patch, gray leaf spot at that point, and we saw a good number of yards, not too many, but substantial numbers, that ended up losing huge portions of their baby grass to fungus, which was really, really killer. It's just kind of not been a non-stop bad season in general.
At least what I noticed, we didn't get anywhere near the rain that you did, but I mean, even from the get-go of this year in Knoxville, we hit almost 90 degrees. We got to 89 degrees in February, and then we had much, much colder March than we had in February and January, and then in April it immediately kicked into summer. So there was not a transition into a full-fledged growing season. It was growing season and then back to almost dormancy and then growing season again. And that's never good from an agronomy perspective. Nobody knows what to do. The plants don't know what to do.
Pretty much I'll pick up where you left off, Matt. We had that warm February. March was a little cooler than expected. April, we kind of had some sort of a spring, and then May 1st, bam, we went 90 degrees May 1st. Humidity through the roof. And we stayed that way all the way through the first week of October. I run a 4 fungicide app program, and it was hard to keep the brown patch at bay this year with the length of the heat and the humidity and the rain. It just kept coming. And this fall, like Katie was talking about earlier, we went into aerating and seed mode, and we were still 85 plus, a week of 90 the first week of October, 2 hurricanes in 2 weeks. Just problem after problem. No spring, no fall, a lot of heat. I think for the Charlotte metro area, this was the 8th hottest year on record, and September was the 2nd hottest September on record for us.
I don't keep up with the temperatures. I know that the weather wasn't typical. We didn't really have a spring. Summer was quick and hot, and we got pretty good rain for a little while, and then all of a sudden it gets real hot and dry, and then we start getting rain again. But all our trouble was in the fall. The seeding, I've been doing this 15 years, and by far, this was the absolute worst year I've ever had for aeration and seeding. Yes, it was about 30 inches of rain, September, October time frame, right when we're seeding. I mean, when you got rivers coming up over top of the road, and you got my mom's creek that runs under her driveway is gushing water over top of the road and washing the road out. That's too much rain at one time. and you've always heard me say it, and I'll always say it, that everything that happens in a yard is weather dictated. And I'll stand by that until I quit doing this.
Having a relationship with all of you in some form or fashion, I know that the level of output that comes from everybody on this panel is extremely high. But one thing that we always have to take into account is that this is a battle against nature. And nature will always find a way to come out on top. So really, we put our forward, but sometimes you come out ahead, sometimes you come up short. Where do we go from this point forward?
Well, for us, we're going to be looking at changing around some of our applications. It would start to rain, and so we were having really compressed timelines on all of our applications. We were missing timing by trying to do things the right way. So we're going to try to look at some more flexible application methods and do a couple more value-added products. I'm actually going to be talking into a lot of our problem properties this winter about trying to add some winter remediation of soils, and then just a lot of customer education. We're just going to try to do a better job of getting in a good spot before these stresses come.
What's the game plan up there in Virginia? What have you and Brandon and Jimmy concocted? I know y'all are always cooking in the kitchen.
So we're trying to play it at two different angles in terms of that. We're doing a lot of client education right now, which is a big purpose of this video, but we're also starting to reach out to them to think ahead to next year. And that's something that Brandon, who's the head of our effort division, has been working on, is trying to push for fungicide applications and grub control applications next year preventatively, instead of just trying to treat it as it comes up.
It's just something that in the past we haven't really seen a whole lot of need to treat for fungus. Like she said earlier, we see it in maybe 5 to 10% of our lawns up until this year. And then this year, we maybe had 5 to 10% of our lawns that didn't get it. So moving forward into next year, we're going to try to push more on getting people to let us do more preventative, so that we're not trying to then chase our tail to try to fix it halfway through the season when they've already lost. They call us because they're seeing brown spots. By the time I get out there, look at it, say this is what it is, this is what it's going to cost, they say go ahead and treat it. By then, they've lost a good portion of the lawn. So in an effort to try to not let that happen, we're going to try to push a lot more preventative this year and just see if we can stay ahead of it as best as we can.
Well, if we have another year was like this year, it really is going to have to be all about the timing. This year with our spring that we had, we didn't have one. We still had snow on the ground, pushed our applications way back, and it not only did it get hot really quick and stay there in that drought and then rain. So it's kind of similar to everybody else's story. But this year, in the future, we're going to have to figure out doing better split applications with our crabgrass. That was one of the big things that threw us back this year. And then on top of that, incorporating a fungicide program. If we could forecast that we're going to have wet seasons like we had this year, it's going to have to become part of the program. And communication is going to have to be key with our clients, because the dollar spot brown patch was the biggest complaint that we had this year. People that never had it before, all of a sudden it was just popping up everywhere. So that's one of the things we're looking into, always looking at different products to be able to put down, using, bettering our cultural practices. And then, like I said, incorporating more preventative measures so that things like that would never hit us too hard before are not going to get incorporated into our programs, so that these shouldn't be issues moving forward.
Things are getting, harder to deal with in terms of drought and insects and things they've never seen before. This year, for example, I saw a lot more grub issues, which I was expecting. So people say, oh, geez, I never had that before. Well, this is record-breaking weather.
It's funny hearing everybody talking about the brown patch, things like that. For me, it's not which yard's going to get it. They all get it in Charlotte. It works. The problem is it's sometimes so hot and humid and there's so much rain, it's hard to get that 24, 28 days out of that app.
What's interesting is I ask everybody for next year, and it seems like everyone has kind of like this dual part here, where increase educational efforts to the customer and also the evolution of your program. And I feel like as an applicator, you're always forever a student. And I know Pete makes a joke. He says he's not going to change anything, but he and I talk. I know things are always changing with Pete. They change minute by minute, day by day. So he can't act like that's not the case. But
Right.
even more so, that makes me so proud to see that here, we have this many applicators and this many people are willing to make changes, step outside of their comfort zone, adapt, evolve their programs. And I think that says a lot to the state of the industry, because, this is, we're looking at a panel of the next generation of the industry. So that's a really positive thing. And I think just me wanting to say thank you to all of y'all for your dedication to the improvement of the trade.
Well, I appreciate everybody taking the time to participate in talking this, and everybody stay posted on everybody that's been involved in this. Take a look at the links that are provided in terms of our company websites, as well as our own. We've got a really active YouTube channel that's run for Picture Perfect Lawn Maintenance, which is the company that Brandon and I work with. If you have questions, obviously hit somebody on this panel up. We've got a really good spread from Texas to Virginia to Maine across the board. So of everybody who's watching, there's bound to be somebody on this panel who's in your area or close to it who can give you some feedback, give you some advice, and possibly help you out with your lawn.